Alright guys, how's it going? In this video we are going to be talking about an article published in the Echo today. I'll give you a close-up of that on my mobile device that you can see there. This is the same article behind me, but it's got all the adverts and all the guff ripped out. Have you tried browsing the Echo website today? Absolutely terrible. It's a terrible website now. Back in the day, it was brilliant. It was the go-to, but it's terrible now. But we still have to touch on things that they occasionally claim or write about, because I think a lot of people still read what they've got to say. And this is by Ian Doyle, the chief Liverpool FC writer. I love you, no. Right? And basically the headline is, what Spanish newspapers say about Liverpool today as Real Madrid dark arts begin. Reports in Spain are starting to ramp up Real Madrid's transfer interest in Liverpool right-back Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, those of you that have followed me for some time will know that I recently said, or a month or two ago, I can't remember when it was, that I thought that the Trent Alexander-Arnold Real Madrid speculation would possibly begin, like in October, as October progressed, and certainly as November approached. Obviously, Liverpool play Real Madrid in the Champions League, and the Spanish giants are known for creating disruption and speculation ahead of big fixtures. So this is right up Real Madrid's street, and whether they're interested in him or not, you are going to hear quite a lot more about that as the month progresses. That was my prediction, if you like. Maybe that's not rocket science, I don't know. But, so is this, justified what the Echo are saying? Has it begun? We've seen a few of these articles already, and I think that the last one, I can't remember what it was, I said, no, I don't think that is it yet. If you subscribe to my newsletter, which is a free newsletter, I send out my thoughts occasionally in written form. The link is in the video description. A couple of newsletters back, I spoke about the Trent Alexander-Arnold situation and what to look for in terms of the reporting surrounding, his contract, the potential of moving to Real Madrid. And I explained in that email update, if you like, what it would mean if you were reading it in England, what it would mean if it was coming from Spain, that kind of thing. And what it would mean, like who was leaking it and why. It was quite an in-depth, look at it, if you like. Do you know what I mean? But that was a few weeks ago. So the Echo have run this article now. I'm in Spain, remember, all right? And I have the added bonus of if I go to the cafe in the morning, I speak to my Spanish friends. They're all football mad. They always tell me if they've heard anything about Liverpool, because they know about my love of Liverpool and what I do for you guys and that. They've seen me throughout the summer, for example, going every day with the Spanish dailies, checking the Zubamendi stuff, the Mamadashvili stuff, the Cubo stuff, all those Spanish links that we looked at over the summer. I go there most days, or I try to go to the cafe most days. I was there this morning, nobody said a thing about Liverpool or anything, and I cast my eyes over these publications. I'm not buying them all at the moment because I don't think there's any need to. I'm also in the Valencia region, community it's called, if you like, the state, the county. So I get to see bits about Mamadashvili, for example, that you might not see in the UK or whatever. And generally speaking, the majority of people around here support Real Madrid, really, even though this is the Valencia region. Nobody supports Barcelona around here because they're not Spanish. Don't even get involved in that debate here. And I see like Spanish television when I'm out, if I go to the cafe, they have like football, like what are called diary programs, like magazine programs, sorry, not diary, magazine, football magazine type shows. And also, on the bulletins and whatnot. So I've got quite a lot of access to this. I know what to watch, know where to look for it. And I'm constantly monitoring it for you. So I was particularly of interest. This article, was particularly of interest to me when I saw it today. Because what Spanish newspapers say about Liverpool today, right? Okay, because I'm thinking, oh, that's interesting. Because what are they claiming versus what I'm going to claim, right? So reports in Spain are starting to ramp up Real Madrid's transfer interest in Liverpool right-back Trent Alexander-Arnold. First of all, I'm going to dismiss that and say I disagree with that. I don't see any ramping up of the Real Madrid apparent interest in Trent Alexander-Arnold. I've seen nothing credible at all here to suggest that Real Madrid are interested in him. I don't think that you have to be, highly educated or, brain surgeon or whatever to know that if Trent Alexander-Arnold becomes available on a free, then Europe's best clubs are going to take a look at him, right? There's no doubt about that. But the Liverpool clique of journalists, they want you to believe for months, throughout this entire year, and probably last year, I can't remember, that Real Madrid were very interested in, interested. Never seen that written over here. You know what I mean? Like, nothing like to pay attention to. Certainly nothing that ever suggested that they were willing to step up and offer 80, 90, 100 million for Trent Alexander-Arnold. If he becomes available on a free, then maybe it's a different situation. But the clique of journalists, the clique is below the likes of Paul Joyce and David Ornstein, lower level journalists. They all agree with each other. They all say the same things at the same time. They all piggyback on what Joyce says and then make out they all knew. Liverpool announce a signing tomorrow and then they'll publish how the deal happened. They've known about it for months, but they didn't say anything. Do you know what I mean? It's like a clique of journalists. At one time, maybe they wrote for some big, newspapers in the UK, but no one gives a fuck about newspapers in the UK anymore. They really don't. And to be honest with you, there's some fans out there are better at it than these journalists are. But because they once were associated with The Guardian or The Telegraph or whatever fucking newspaper, they think that they're still relevant today, and I can assure you they're not, right? So I don't have a problem with a single journalist, by the way. Do you know what I mean? I'm just telling you my opinions, what I think. You have to make your own opinions, right? I tell you that. But as far as I'm concerned, I only listen to Paul Joyce and David Ornstein and occasionally Fabrizio Romano, depending on what Romano is saying and what, like to do with Chiesa, for example, the Italian stuff. Obviously, he's going to be pretty connected with stuff like that. The rest of them, waste of time. Anyway, so they want you to believe, or the more they mention Trent Alexander-Arnold and Real Madrid, right, the more people are going to click on those articles. Someone's messaged me, my hairdresser. I'm going to England on Friday, so I need my Yogi Bear cutting. So the more they mention Trent Alexander-Arnold and the more they mention Real Madrid, they know more people are going to read the articles. More people read the articles, which means more advertising is displayed, which means more revenue for Reach PLC that owns the Liverpool Echo, right? But over in Spain, here in Spain, they're mentioning Real Madrid and Trent Alexander-Arnold every day. I think they will later this month as that game approaches. And I will keep you informed of that. So, starting to ramp up, reports in Spain are starting to ramp up Real Madrid's interest in Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't believe that. I genuinely don't believe that, guys, okay? And they start the article with, and so it begins. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been away from the Liverpool Boston for less than 48 hours, and already the Real Madrid rumour mongers have been activated. The sight of Jude Bellingham hiding inside a mammoth card to celebrate Alexander-Arnold's 26th birthday on his arrival to the latest English squad gathering on Monday was all the excuse needed for media outlets in Spain to start reporting about Real Madrid ramping up their interest in the Real Madrid player. Now, obviously, Danny Carvajal injury is what happened when you heard about his injury at Real Madrid. What did you think? Did you think the same as me? It was like, oh, that's interesting. That could change things a little bit because, Real Madrid possibly do have this interest in him as a free, right? And now they've got this serious injury, potentially season-ending injury. That could strengthen Real Madrid's interest now. That could change everything. Did you think that? You did, didn't you? I thought the same thing. If you were a journalist, you'd have thought that too, wouldn't you? So immediately you've got, I've got something to write about there. Real Madrid step up interest following in. Do you know what I mean? All right? Doesn't necessarily mean it's true. But it would make sense as well. I think he had knee ligament damage or something like that, right? Now, this is what the Echo want you to believe. Liverpool and their supporters have known for more than a year that Real have been keeping tabs on Alexander-Arnold's situation. When it became increasingly aware the player was among those at Anfield nearing the final 12 months of their present contract. Well, first of all, he shouldn't have been allowed to get down to that low in his fucking contract, should he? None of them should, right? We were talking yesterday, do you remember yesterday, talked about I uploaded a video yesterday saying something I've noticed about Richard Hughes, and I think it was titled that. And this constant line that we're seeing come out of Anfield in the last few weeks, Richard Hughes inherited, Edwards Hughes inherited this contractual situation. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, well, you inherited it, but you can change it if you want to change it. And you've been there months anyway. The inherited line, it's already like laying the foundations just in case it goes tits up, which it might not go tits up, but they can say, oh, we inherited this problem. It's not our problem. It was George Schmatker's big problem before, boy George, right? So, first of all, he shouldn't have got down into his final 12 months of his contract, and he shouldn't be in this situation now, right? And do Liverpool fans really know that Real Madrid have been keeping an eye on Alexander-Arnold for more than a year? Or is it the journalists, these clique of journalists that just want you to believe that? Because again, they ain't been writing that here, right? Do you know what I mean? Now you might see a change of that here because they've got this Liverpool game coming up and the player is now going to become available on a free transfer, possibly if he doesn't sign a new deal. So of course you're going to start to see things more, right? The tittle-tattle from Spain has been gradually escalating over recent months. It hasn't. It hasn't, guys. What's been increasing over recent months has been the click journalists, the journalists in the United Kingdom saying this, not the journalists here, all right? It's not true. Again, the pressure from Real Madrid is being slowly and steadily increased. I don't know whether to agree with that or not. There's part of me that wants to say, no, it hasn't. But there's also part of me that wants to think, well, yeah, I imagine we will see this slow and steady increase of speculation because of the forthcoming game between the two clubs and because the players' contract situation is becoming more and more worrying. Now, so they start off by telling you, basically they're stamping up, Real Madrid is stamping up their transfer interest in the player, right? Which makes you go, oh, fucking hell, no, we're going to lose him, right? And then what it says here, the latest report, not reports plural, but the latest report from Spain indicates Real haven't made any sort of move yet. Does that sound like ramping up to you then? Is that ramping up their interest then? Because the latest report indicates Real haven't made any sort of move yet, but they're ramping up, right? Dismissing at a stroke claims the Spaniards have already sounded out Alexander-Arnold's representatives over the player's situation. In other words, the Spanish media are not ramping anything up. They're saying they haven't made any sort of move, and they're dismissing claims that the Spanish giants have already spoken to his representatives. The Echo goes on to say about, Alexander-Arnold's relationship with Bellingham, and that could be a way to woo the player out there, which, of course, is very a good point. Yeah, we would agree with that, right? This is interesting. The Liverpool Echo say, for certain, that's a definitive statement, for certain, Real will only sign the Liverpool man on a free transfer. All right? They'll only sign him on a free transfer. Doesn't sound like a club that's been wanting to sign him for years to me. It will end their interest should the defender extend his commitment, to the boy club he joined at the age of 6. There is no chance of him jumping ship for a fee in January. Well, I would agree with that, because why would you, if you were the player or the agent, would you advise your client to leave in January when you can leave in a few more months' time at the end of the season and get all that, not the transfer fee, but a signing on fee, and a substantial one, right? So the vacuum of the international break, the fact few would be surprised if Bellingham has been tasked with bending the ear of the player, and probable starts for the defender in the forthcoming UEFA Nation League games against Greece and Finland means there will be little time for Reds fans to rest easy. The Liverpool man is going to keep dominating the headlines. Buckle up, folks, it's going to be a bumpy ride, is what the Echo was saying, but they're the ones actually creating the headline, if you think about it. You know, if there was anything significant out here in Spain, that I'd be all over it straight away. You know that, guys, right? I know they've got a job to do, but I don't believe this article, and I think I'm well positioned to have a good opinion on that. All right. So, well, when I say I don't believe the article, I just don't believe that they want you to believe that in Spain they're ramping up things. I don't think they are. But at some point, you are going to see that because of that fixture in the Champions League. No doubt about whether they wanted to sign him or not, you are going to hear about it. And that's when the articles will come from Spain. Now, when they talk about reports in Spain, right, you have to remember there's different levels of media outlets, right? There's radio stations, like poxy radio stations in the middle of nowhere that want to make a name for themselves and, want to get traction and interaction on social media and their websites, right? So they can make a claim and then the British press will go, oh, reports in Spain. But as you know, there's credible reports and there's not so credible reports. When the three, national football dailies here, for example, start running 2-page spreads about Trent Alexander-Arnold, that is when I would say they're ramping things up. But some no-mark, radio station or some poxy regional newspaper, I'm not going to pay attention to, and especially Revelo. I think, is it Relevo or Revelo? I can't remember. Relevo, I think. I'm going to have to check, right? Now, bear with me. Un momento, por favor. And you see my Spanish there? Fucking amazing I am, man. Right, let's have a look. Oh, I'm not going to be able to find it, am I? Let me log into the members website. Are you a Cock Talk VIP member yet? You're not? Disgusting. You should be. And I'm going to take down the promotion today, I think. So it's your last chance. There's a video on here, I think, that will come up at the end of this video. It's your last chance if you want 50% off. Right, let's have a look. Right, on the members website. Oh, for scouting department. Here we go. I'm sure it's in here. Relevo. Probably going to be talking about them again today. Do you remember I mentioned about Relevo the other day? That is a Madrid-based outlet, right? That's already started spluttering some of this shite, right? Madrid-based outlet that's owned by one of the biggest publication and media organizations in the country in Spain, which is also based in Madrid. So Relevo is based in Madrid. The company that owns them, the massive company, is based in Madrid. And the journalist that usually spouts this shite for Relevo is the Real Madrid journalist. So that's a lot of influence from Madrid in any reporting to do with Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't want you to think that I'm dismissing any suggestion that Trent could go there. The latest credible claims that have come to me, right, from people associated to the members website, you don't have to be on there because I'm telling you right now what was said. This was several weeks back, and they claimed, it's up to you whether you want to believe it or not, they claimed that Trent Alexander-Arnold's camp wanted to drag out the contract negotiations as long as possible to see if Real Madrid stepped in. Therefore, they can't have already stepped in or indicated they were going to do anything. So the Real Madrid, the Trent Alexander-Arnold camp are happy for that situation to drag out as long as possible. And it would make sense. If you're the agent advising Trent, what would you be saying? You wouldn't say, yeah, just sign it now. Or would you go, no, let's just fucking drag it out as long as we can, see if they step in. Even if you don't want to go there, Trent, it gives you negotiating power, right? So they're happy for it to drag out. And like you're probably like me, sick of hearing about it, because I am, all right? But you're going to be subjected to more and more of this for some time during the coming months if it's not resolved. And I would advise you just to be cautious with what the click journalists are saying to you, all right? When it does start coming out here, I will let you know about it. An article or a claim by Relevo is not for me ramping things up, right? So I know that they're talking about this shit here and that. You just have to trust me with it. You know what I mean? Trust me, bruv. You know what I'm saying? I think it's misleading. But whether you believe me or not, it's up to you. So that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I think that the way things are going, I said, I was thinking mid-October onwards, we might start to see some big stuff here. You might see Trent Alexander-Arnold on the front page of AS, for example. Do you know what I mean? Or one of these big football dailies. You might see that. You might see page 2, 3, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Bellingham together. But I think you're going to see that in later October, possibly early November, as part of the destabilising ahead of that fixture. That's what I think. All right. So if you're new to my channel and it's too confusing, you know what I mean. People that have been around these parts a long time know the message I'm trying to get across here. I think they will have worked it out. So I wouldn't pay any attention to Ian Doyle. Unfortunately, I'm sure he's a very nice gentleman, although he has been criticised with quite a bit for some of his for his comments on social media in the past regarding Liverpool supporters and things. But that's up to them. I've got my own arguments to fight. I love everyone. I ain't got a problem with a single journalist. Right? I'm not interested in any of the journalists. They put themselves out there, and I'm sure Ian Doyle will say, well, you can believe what I say or not. No different to what I'm saying to you. And you make your own decisions, right? But for the time being, I think it's misleading. I don't think anything's being ramped up here. I think it's just the British media that want you to believe that there's something there at the moment because it generates clicks. It's not here yet. I think you will see something from Spain in the run-up to that Real Madrid game unless things are sorted out pretty soon. I hope this video has made some sense. That's all I can say to you. If you appreciate the video, please thumbs up the video. If there's something that I've not explained very well, by all means, please ask in the comment section and I'll try and do that for you. And if you want to buy me a beer, because I'm off to England on Friday, or a coffee, because I'll be off to the cafe in the morning, hit the super thanks button, the love heart under the video. There's other ways of supporting me in the video description as well, and the channel as a whole. But what I think I will do, guys, is I think I will start buying the Spanish dailies again every day for you. We did it throughout the summer. I stopped it when the window closed. I think I'm going to have to start doing that again because when you see things like this, crop up again, at least I can go, guys, I can validate. Do you remember that in the summer? Do you remember that person that said, show us the newspapers so you can validate what you're saying? Right? I can validate, I can say to you, well, here's today's papers, guys. Does it look like it's been ramped up to you? And you can then make your own decision, right? Because if I show you the papers every day and go through them and go, no, you can then decide whether I'm being accurate or whether they're being accurate. And that's the best ways for you to make the decisions yourself, right? Okay, I'm sorry for the long video. It's just, I think they're mugging you off with what they're saying. All right, guys, I'll leave it with you. I'm going to be live on here at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock this evening. If you could come along and join me for a natter, that would be fantastic, as Brendan Rodgers would say. All right, guys, cheers.